Welcome back here on Live Now from Fox. I want to get to a story that we have been following here over the last 24 hours or so. This is over in Pennsylvania, where authorities in Chester County are searching for a convicted murderer. They say escaped custody Thursday. A news conference now underway on that topic. So let's play that for you here, raw and unfiltered.
And everyone, we wanted to provide an update to the public on the manhunt of Danelo Cavalcante. Unfortunately, at this time, he has not been located, but we are using every available resource and asset to track his location. Local, state, and federal authorities are working around the clock to find him, and we will not stop until he is in custody. Law enforcement is still utilizing helicopters, drones, and dogs, and we believe that he is still in the general area. There is no evidence at this time to suggest that anyone has helped facilitate this escape or is assisting him at this time. We believe that he is hiding somewhere locally and that he is alone. The U.S. Marshals are actively involved in this manhunt. They are the best in the business at apprehending fugitives, and we are extremely confident in their abilities to capture him soon. Currently, we are looking everywhere in the area, including railways, the Brandywine Creek, and every area that may be a route out of Chester County. We have reason to believe that he is heading south, and we will find him no matter how long it takes. We are still seeking the public's help in our investigation. If you see anything suspicious, please contact 911, regardless of how small or what you may perceive to be insignificant. We still have a tip line available. You should call 911, or you should call the U.S. Marshals tip line at 877-WANTED-2. There is a $10,000 reward for any information that can be used in the capture of this fugitive. Again, we have every reason to believe he is considered dangerous at this time. Do not approach him. We ask the public to call 911 immediately. We will continue to update the public as soon as we have information to share, and we thank you for all the tips that we have received. We have investigated each and every tip that you have submitted to us. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Troop Commander Captain Wagner.
Thank you. So my name is Captain Bob Wagner, and I'm the commanding officer of Troop J Lancaster, which includes Chester County. The state police is committed to working with our local Chester County law enforcement partners and the U.S. Marshals Service to capture this convicted murderer and put him back in prison. We've had boots on the ground and state police resources deployed since the onset, and I can assure you we plan on going nowhere until he is captured. We have no reason to believe he's left the area. Please be vigilant and report any suspicious activity. We need your help. Please check your cars and your outbuildings for any signs of criminal activity. If you see anything suspicious, report it. We ask that you also check your home video cameras. If you see any footage on there that's suspicious, please report it to us. I want to reiterate, this man is very dangerous. If you see him, don't approach him and call 911. Thank you.
Thank you, Captain. Next, I'd ask to call to the podium Rob Clark, who is the supervisor of the Fugitive Task Force for the U.S. Marshals.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Clark. I supervise the Fugitive Task Force out of Philadelphia. And yesterday, late afternoon, we were asked to assist in the apprehension of Mr. Cavalcante. I can tell you that an escape warrant was issued for him. Our Fugitive Task Force adopted that warrant, and we're here supporting the Chester County CID as well as the state police. Like Captain Wagner said, we're in this for the long haul. We have no reason to believe Mr. Cavalcante's left the area. However, if he does, the U.S. Marshals Service has a long arm to touch anyone in this country or its territories, and we plan to do so. We will stop at nothing until we bring him back into custody and support our state and local partners. I also reiterate what Captain Wagner said about being vigilant about checking your property. Check your neighbor's property. It's Labor Day weekend coming up. People are going out of town. If you have neighbors that are out of town, make sure their property is secure. Make sure they're not missing anything. Vehicles, modes of transportation, bicycles, anything that could assist our fugitive of getting out of the area. We have nothing to believe, nothing that says he's gone, so we're going to assume that he's in the area. We're going to keep the Marshal Service assets here, the state police assets, and all our local assets here as well. In addition, the DA said we have a $10,000 reward. That's $5,000 offered from the county and $5,000 from the U.S. Marshals. We'd encourage people to call 911 for immediate response to tips, as well as the 877 Wanted 2 hotline and the usmarshals.gov website to register a tip. Thank you.
We're happy to take some questions at this time. Yes.
Yeah, can we talk about why or what leads law enforcement to believe that he has not left the area?
We don't have any evidence to suggest that he has left, so we believe that he's somewhere nearby. Yes.
What should neighbors be doing? What should residents be doing? I've talked to people who are concerned that they're not exactly sure, should I be having this Labor Day party? I know Westchester University canceled their classes just a few hours ago. So how should people be behaving this weekend?
I think people need to be on high alert. This person is dangerous. He has killed someone. He's alleged to have killed another person. So people need to take every precaution possible. Lock your doors, keep your eyes on your kids, and keep your eyes on your neighbors and your friends. I don't know what to suggest regarding neighborhood activities or barbecues for the weekend, but everyone needs to be on high alert.
What makes you believe that he's headed south?
So when he murdered Deborah Brandow in 2021, he headed toward Brazil. We have evidence to suggest that he was captured in Virginia, but the ultimate goal was to go to Mexico and then to Brazil, which is his native country.
Can you offer any insight into how you believe he may have gotten out of the prison, considering it's done, he already got out? Any information you can reveal about that?
So at this time, I don't. We're still investigating that. The Chester County detectives have been vigilant in doing interviews and reviewing video surveillance, but we will have an update at some point on that.
Yeah, because that involves two different agencies. If it was like a transport situation or if it was an incarceration in the jail itself, can we even say where he was?
It occurred at the prison.
He wasn't being transported anywhere?
Not at the time, no.
Can you confirm that, so the prison realized he was missing at 9 a.m. and he was called, someone reported that he was out walking at 9:30? Was there a search in progress before that report was made?
I don't know the specific time frame as to when they first notified anyone that he was missing or when they found out that he was gone. So I know that we have a confirmed identification of him walking on Wawasset Road at 9:40.
We understand that he gained access to a ladder at the prison. Have there been steps to alter security or make sure things are secure at the county jail?
Jim, there's no evidence that there was a ladder used in his escape.
Deb, given that he was sentenced to life in prison, number one, why was he still in custody in Chester County for over a week? And also, were there any additional security measures being taken given that he was a confirmed flight risk previously?
So it's normal protocol to keep someone who has been recently convicted for at least 30 days in case they file a post-sentence motion of some kind. And after that occurred, he would be transported to a state correctional institute. And at the time that he was still awaiting to be transported, there was no evidence that he was considered a flight risk.
Can you confirm there was another inmate that escaped from that prison a couple months ago? We have a neighbor who said it happened and he hid in his shed and he was caught. Can you confirm that that happened?
I cannot. I don't have that information.
I know details are limited, and I respect that, but is there any indication he acted alone or had assistance in getting out of the prison?
We have no evidence at this time to suggest that he had help from anyone.
So who can confirm that that happened then? Who do we contact when we have several neighbors who said that that happened, that there was another prisoner who escaped from this jail a couple of months ago?
I am aware that there was a previous escape. I can't give you details about that. I would suggest contacting the acting warden, Howard Holland.
But you can confirm that it happened?
It did happen, yes.
Oh, okay.
When someone's given a life sentence, clearly they're a flight risk. Is there a part of the prison that is designed to hold someone who may be a higher level flight risk? Is that?
As far as I understand it, he was in the maximum security area of the prison.
Can you talk about a little more detail about how the manhunt works, like what the process is for looking for him and what challenges the local landscape might create in finding him?
You know, I'm going to defer to the U.S. Marshals to address that.
So we don't want to talk about how we go about our investigative techniques and tip our hand to Mr. Cavalcante, but I can tell you this, that the state police and the Marshal Service are dedicated in staying here until we bring him into custody. It just wouldn't be appropriate to tell you exactly the investigative measures that we're using. I think the DA said already there are numerous helicopters flying throughout the night using different types of surveillance techniques to try to locate him, and we're just using every possible asset that we have to search the immediate area until we can prove that he's either here or that he's not here. And it should also be noted, the DA said as well, not to approach Mr. Cavalcante. There's also a murder warrant for him out of Brazil. So the Brazilian authorities have a homicide warrant for him as well relating to a 2017 murder, which he fled Brazil to Puerto Rico and then entered the country illegally. So this is a very, very dangerous man. And I think that's the reason why you see such dedication here from the state police, the Marshals Service, and all our state and local partners. It's not just one homicide warrant that he was sentenced here for a life sentence, but he also has an active warrant out of Brazil for a 2017 murder as well.
Speaking of Brazilian authorities, have they been notified about his escape locally, and are they assisting at all?
They have. We've reached out to the Brazilian attaché. They are aware that Mr. Cavalcante has escaped custody. It's up to them whether they're gonna pursue the provisional arrest warrant or not. I think they're contemplating that now, but they have been made aware.
Rob, do you have any words about perhaps anybody in this community who may be thinking of assisting this man?
Don't do it. You'll get charged. You know, anyone who impedes this investigation, without a doubt, the dedication that we have through the DA's office and through the Pennsylvania State Police, you're going to get charged with obstructing justice. You're going to be charged with whatever we can. I would suggest to associates, family members, whoever may be in touch with Mr. Cavalcante, do the right thing, contact law enforcement, because if we find out that you impede this investigation, you'll be part of it and you'll be on the criminal side.
Rob, going off of that, do you have any indication that he has contacted any family members or friends in the Phoenixville area?
We don't want to comment on that. Even if we did have that information, we wouldn't share it. We're just...
Can you talk about the size of the search today? For
Okay.
knowledge or...
I can tell you this, we're searching the immediate area. Everywhere in the immediate area here in Chester County, we are going through every nook and cranny, responding to every tip that we get in, and diligently following up on places we may believe he may be believed to be hiding. So it's a thorough search of the Chester County area, and I believe that's why the DA is just asking the community to be vigilant. Don't be scared, be vigilant. Check your stuff, check your neighbor's stuff, because if he's hunkered down, sooner or later, he's going to have to rear his head, and that's when we want those tips to come in, because we will have a reaction force to come out and arrest him.
Can you say how many tips you've received since this all started yesterday?
How many tips we received, Kevin?
I tell you, it's been quite a few. I don't have the exact number on hand, but I would say it's over 30 at this point, maybe 40.
We're just told over 100. I'm hearing.
I believe it's, yeah. I thought it was about 100 myself. Some of them are lookalike. Some of them we've found to be not credible. Somebody in Maine said, I thought I saw him at the gas station driving, you know, in Maine. Said, I thought I saw an individual looking like him driving a red Ford Focus, and you know, some of those we have to dismiss because we have to look at the credibility of some of these tips.
And how many law enforcement would you say? Hundreds, dozens? How many people are?
There's hundreds up here. Yeah.
A question on law enforcement. I'm with the Chester County Association of Township Officials, and we're getting emails and calls from PD saying, how do we get our people to help? Do we refer them to someone in particular, or do we advise them that they should stay in their jurisdiction and work that territory?
In my opinion, the state police has very adequately staffed this operation. They have everyone from their emergency response team, people up here, their BCI investigators. They've deployed every possible resource in the state that they can afford up here. The Marshal Service, through the task force in Philadelphia and through Allentown, have expended all of our investigators. So at this time, we're not asking for any help. I'd ask them to stay in their own jurisdictions. You know, God forbid we get a tip there, we'll need them out to investigate those tips.
I have one question. I spoke to neighbors who were a little bit concerned about the timeline and how quickly they were notified that someone was missing. They were concerned that it had been hours before they got an update from the text messages, and they weren't able to hear that air raid warning that goes off or the siren that goes off. So Is there any explanation about this timeline and why it took so long for neighbors to hear? Also, any thoughts about updating technology any further to get those words out quicker?
So, good question. I don't know the answer to that, frankly. We're looking into that to see why there was a delayed response. But as far as I understand it, as soon as the prison was aware that he had escaped, they followed their direct protocol and notified the appropriate authorities and corresponding agencies. But we'll look into that further. There was a reverse 911 call that was placed. I was told that not every resident received that call, so we're going to look into that and see why that happened, and I don't have an answer at this time.
Deb, I know you can't give a lot of information about this, given for safety reasons, but in terms of Deborah Brandau's family, have they been contacted by your office, and if so, I mean, how are you handling the situation?
They are safe. They were told immediately. That was the first call that I made as soon as I found out. So we have no reason to believe that they are in jeopardy in any way. Our impression is that this defendant wants to flee south. I don't have any indication that he has any reason to go after the Brandau family at this time.
And you mentioned that there's no evidence that he's left the area, so I guess we should ask, is there any evidence that he's still in the area at this time?
I can't comment on that, Jim.
Where was the initial report made when he was first spotted?
From yesterday when he was first?
Yeah.
So it happened on Wawasett Road by someone who was going into the prison who works at the Chester County Justice Center.
Is that the last positive sighting?
As far as I know, I think so. Yeah.
How far from the prison was that?
Right down the road.
Right down the road?
Yes.
Between here and...
Correct.
And this is going off of Jim's question, but I have to ask, has his prison attire been located?
Not to my knowledge, no. No.
Is the prison still on lockdown?
No, it's not. I think we had inmates transferred to the Justice Center today for hearings. Yeah.
Maggie asked, Maggie, you asked about us notifying the public. I can tell you this, the Marshal Service now is in the midst of trying to do a social media blast to the Chester County area. So some of you and some of the residents of Chester County may start seeing on our social media Mr. Cavalcante's picture, wanted poster, and information come up on that. We have very good relationships with our social media outlets, and we're asking them to start blasting that out as soon as today. In addition, you may see Mr. Cavalcante's face appear on your local bulletin boards or digital bulletin boards along the major highways here as well. So that's what we're doing as far as social media and digital networking. In addition, we are preparing notification cards, so to say. I don't want to call them baseball cards, but they're wanted cards that we can hand out to the public and that we'll be dispersing through the immediate area probably over the weekend with his identifiers, very similar to our wanted poster.
Does anyone foresee revisiting the policy of holding someone sentenced to life in county jail for 30 days? I don't believe any other county does that. SCI Phoenix isn't that far away. Would you consider maybe holding a life sentence or significant sentence in a maximum security state penitentiary?
So that's certainly an interesting thing to broach with the prison. I was not aware that other facilities didn't handle it the same way, so I'll look into that. Anyone else have any questions?
Just a minor question. Where in Brazil is he from? Where did that initial murder take place?
I don't recall the province of the area.
Give a message for him. I doubt he's watching TV right now, but what would you say to him if he was in front of you?
I want to say to him, we are going to find you, we're going to prosecute you, and we're going to keep you behind bars for the rest of your life.
And then does he, once he is, I'm assuming he's captured, is he brought back to the facility, or is he transported out of there at that point?
So he will be transported back here. His attorneys just filed a post-sentence motion today. So if and when he is captured, we will have to litigate that in front of the sentencing judge in this matter.
What does the motion seek? Can you say?
They're asking for relief for either a new sentence or a new trial.
And just lastly, U.S. Marshals and others, state police involved. Is the FBI also assisting?
We've been in contact with the FBI, yes.
You can.
So, good afternoon. My name's Dave Sass. I'm the Chief County Detective. We have been in touch with the FBI. They've offered their assistance with some of their assets, and we're in constant communication with them. Yes. We good?
If there are no other questions, I'll just tell you, we will update you as soon as we have new information to share. I know everybody has been inundating us with inquiries. We promise that we will do our best to get out information as soon as we receive it, but thank you for your patience on that. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
And that was an update from about 30 minutes ago, provided by officials there in Pennsylvania, as the search does continue for that guy right there on your screen, a convicted murderer who escaped from the Chester County Prison. That is according to investigators. That manhunt is underway. You are urged, if you see him, do not approach him. Call 911.